Hi there. Today I want to talk about developmental trauma, PTSD, neurofeedback, and meditation. I'm going to begin my story today in 2011. I was preparing an all-day teacher staff development for fine arts educators, and I wanted the day to be meaningful. When we work in low socioeconomic neighborhoods, children have experienced the top 10 stressors with greater frequency and intensity. And I thought it would be a worthwhile day to learn about developmental trauma and to help the teachers see through the eyes of the students. Well, I found this book and I was really intrigued by it. Neurofeedback in the Treatment of Developmental Trauma. And I especially liked the bottom line that says, calming the fear-driven brain. I thought that's perfect. So I began to read. In 2011, I was 60 years old. And I was very surprised as I read one page after another. They were describing things about me that I hated. I hated the fact that I couldn't catch or throw a ball. I was always this last student chosen on the sports games in PE class. And I dropped things all the time. I stumbled on floors that were totally clear. I ran into door jams. Just little things, and the list went on and on and on. I thought, well, if I have all the signs, did I experience developmental trauma? And the answer is yes. And I had lived with it and struggled with it all my life, and I didn't know. And I hope that's not the case for you, and I hope it's not the case for any children that you might know. Because developmental trauma affects the brain in so many levels, and not just when it affects our brain, it affects our body. And we move from the center of the bell curve as we adapt, because we're adapting all the time. And so we either move to one end of the bell curve or the other end of the bell curve. And we either go into hyperarousal or hypoarousal. Well, I have struggled all my life with hyperarousal. When I finished the book and I read it cover to cover, I said, I will never do neurofeedback. Well, we shouldn't say that we'll never do something. Today, it's my pleasure to serve as the neurotech at Restore Wellness Center here in Abilene, Texas. And it's not anything to be afraid of. When people come in, we sit in a chair, and usually when we do the test, we do 20 electrodes, but normally we just do 5. It just takes a few minutes to set it up. We have a cap with lots of little electrodes on it, and so we use 5 of them that are done through an assessment, selected scientifically with a incredible mainframe computer. And then we sit and we watch a program on television. And when the screen will go dim, and when the person moves their brain in such a way, the brain doing all the work, the screen lights up, and we hear these little chimes in the background on a speaker. It's fun. Yeah, it takes 20 minutes of watching television, exercising the brain, and it's what we call classic operant conditioning. It's the same method that B.F. Skinner used to train his pigeons. when they picked the right place, you gave them a reward. Well, our reward is the screen lighting up and the sounds of the chime. And this method is helpful for so many conditions. I'm going to read you the list for developmental trauma and PTSD. And there is, developmental trauma was not put on the diagnostic manual number 5. It was left off, and there was a great deal of controversy. So right now, a developmental trauma is a form of PTSD that children experience early in life, is the best we can say it. But there are differences. And because of this designation, many of the children do not qualify for benefits. Neurofeedback helps anxiety, depression, OCD, migraine headaches, head injuries, memory issues, insomnia, sleep disorders, nightmares, sleepwalking, addiction, bipolar, chronic pain, epilepsy, and even teeth grinding. After 11 years of practicing meditation and 50 neurofeedback sessions, I wish I could say that I was cured. But can't say that, but I am so much better. One of the issues that I have today is I have high cortisol, and it triggers my insulin and my glucose, so I have trouble regulating my sugar levels. But I'm on the chart today. At one point in time, my dysregulation was so high, I didn't even fit on the chart. And I'm hopeful for health and happiness in my senior years. 2 weeks ago, I was triggered. My developmental trauma, my PTSD, just in a nanosecond, I could feel it. My biggest trigger is when I don't know what to do and when I'm not able to help someone. And my heart started pounding out of my chest. It was like I had killed someone, I had done something awful. And I immediately put my tools to work. You see, meditation is not just about sitting on the mat for those few minutes and getting calmer and more peaceful. It's about being more calmer and more peaceful in our life. So I started heart-focused breathing, and I managed to complete my work and come home. And I changed into my workout clothes. And I walked outside feeling the warm sunshine on my skin, the wind passing past me, just gently brushing my skin. I concentrated on feeling my feet, the heel rolling on the ball of the foot. And I walked and I continued to practice my breathing and listening to my breathing, listening to the sounds of the traffic, to the birds in the trees, and just really focusing on being present in my body. When I had made some leeway, I started running as fast as my 69-year-old legs could carry me. And I ran until I had a great sweat. It still took me, the brunt of the experience was gone, but it still took me another day or two to feel free and centered again and happy. With tools, we're able to manage our lives and live a better life, the life we were meant to live, a life of flourishing. If you or someone you love struggles with the challenges that I listed a minute ago, please consider neurofeedback. It's painless and it does help. When we help our brain help us, our life is so much better. If you're 18 years of age or older, I invite you to join me on Wednesday evenings at 5:30 Central Daylight Time. I offer a free meditation teaching meditation basics and open heart meditations because the love is the antidote of fear. Twice a year, I offer the 8-week mindfulness-based stress reduction course, beginning on the Wednesday after Labor Day and again in mid-January. All this is offered for free on Zoom. My number is 201-862-2308. I'm Diana Liz, founder of Rejuvenating Lifestyle for Mind, Body, Health, and Happiness, wishing you a life of flourishing.